Hello, everybody. Welcome to another rendition of live narrations. I am repeating yesterday's story because I did a big dumb. I had the music audio way too loud for my voice, so I hope now everybody can hear me pretty loud and clear. If not, please let me know in the chat and I will fix it. Everybody hear me okay? Hey Lynn, thank you for making it. Minty, CCG, Dark Horse, Gamma, thank you all for coming. Today's story is I Know the Real Reason Why the Ice Cream Machine is Always Broken at McDonald's, written by our very own Creepy Clown Girl. Let's try not to mess this up, shall we? One Saturday, my husband and I thought we would take our two small children to visit their grandparents, who lived in the next town over. The kids were really excited about going to see them. Due to the demanding nature of our jobs, the children don't get to see their grandparents that often. That day was amazing and seemed pretty normal. As we got to my parents' house and went inside, they said hello to us as they hugged the kids. "Hi, Mom and Dad," I responded as they hugged my husband and I. "So, is everyone ready to go to the park?" my husband asked. "Yes!" the kids yelled with excitement, huge smiles on their faces. "Great, let's grab everything and get going," my mom says as the kids go running past her and out to the car. After getting everything loaded into the car, we all got in and headed to the park. As the kids played quietly on their tablets, the adults started talking, discussing what has been going on. After getting to the park, my parents took the kids to the playground, as my husband and I unlocked the car. We start setting everything up. My mom comes walking over to us and starts helping me as my husband heads to the playground with my dad. When it was done, my dad went and got the kids, telling them it was time to eat and they could play more after they were done. As soon as lunch was over and we started cleaning up, the kids went off to play again. "Hey, honey," my mom said as the guys took everything to the car. "Yeah, Mom?" I said. "Thank you so much for bringing the kids to see us. It has been a great day, and your dad and I had a lot of fun today." "You're welcome, Mom. I wish we could visit more, but you know how hectic our work and schedules can be." "I know, sweetie," she replied as she gave me a hug. "Hey, ladies, are we about ready to go?" my husband asked as he looked at us with a smile. "Yeah, I think we are," my mom says as my dad yells, "Hey, kids! It's time to go. It's getting late." "Okay, Grandpa, we're coming," the kids yell back as they start running towards us. After we all get back into the car and the kids settle down, we head back to drop my parents off at their house, and then we head home ourselves. After we say our goodbyes, we get back in our car and head towards the McDonald's in our town to get the kids some ice cream. Well, that is, if the damn machine isn't still broken. I remember the kids' excitement as they saw the big McDonald's sign as we pulled into the parking lot and going towards the drive-thru. "Mommy, are we getting any ice cream?" "Yes, as long as the machine works," I replied, smiling as I looked at my husband, who had a huge grin on his face. Pulling up to the ordering window, I heard a bubbly voice say,
Hello and welcome to McDonald's. How can I take your order?
"Yes, hi, can I get 4 ice cream cones, please?" I asked. After a brief pause, the woman says,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Our machine is broken. Is there something else I could get for you?
Looking over at my husband, I saw him looking back at the kids, who seemed to have a look of disappointment on their faces. That's when my husband looked at me with a smile, as he asked the kids, "Hey, I know. How would you guys like to have a Happy Meal?" The kids' frowns turned to smiles as they happily pleaded, "Yes, please, Mommy and Daddy." After ordering, I pulled up to the pickup window, and as I did, I could have sworn out of the corner of my eye I saw the woman change. But I thought maybe I was just tired. I guess my husband noticed the confused look on my face because he touched my arm and said, "Honey, are you okay? What's wrong?" But as I started to say something, the window opened and I heard a woman's voice say, "Hello, that'll be 1254. As I turned towards her, I saw another employee standing at the ice cream machine, putting some kind of weird stuff that kind of looked like salt on her food. Shocked, I just sat there, staring at the guy. But I guess the woman noticed me and my expression because she quickly closed the window and approached the guy, yelling at him and pointed towards the back of the building. As this was going on, my husband asked, "What's going on? And why did you react that way?" I just looked at him and said, "I'll tell you when we get home, okay, honey?" Looking back through the window, I saw her grabbing our food as she quickly turned and came back to the window. Opening it, she smiled and tried to sound normal and polite, even though I could still hear that she was mad and annoyed with the other employee. Smiling back at her, I paid her and took our food and grabbed the change and drove off, before she could say another word because I just wanted to get the hell out of there. And after getting home, we all went inside and put our stuff down. Excitedly, the kids asked if they could have their Happy Meals. Smiling, of course, we said yes. We all headed to the kitchen to eat our food. With dinner done and the kids put to bed, my husband and I got ourselves ready for bed as well. That's when he asked me, "So what happened at McDonald's that freaked you out?" Smiling, I kissed him on the cheek and said, "I love you, but I'm kind of tired. Can we talk about it tomorrow?" Kissing me back, he softly smiled and said, "Yeah, and I love you too." "Good night," we both said, but little did I know my decision to wait to tell him would become the worst and most fatal mistake of my life. In just a few short hours, my life would change forever. Something later. First mistake. Sometime later, I was awoken by a loud sound that startled me. Rolling over, I quickly glanced at the clock, which read 1:48 a.m. Turning to my husband, I went to shake him, but noticed he was violently convulsing and had blood coming out of his mouth and nose, eyes, and ears. Screaming, I jumped out of bed and hurriedly grabbed the phone and tried to put it to my ear, prepared to dial 911, when I realized that the power was out. As I put the receiver down, my husband became still and I knew he was dead. I heard another loud boom that woke the kids up, who were now screaming. Looking at my husband one last time, I turned and ran out of the room and headed down to the hall towards my children's bedroom. When I got there, I swung the door open, letting it hit the wall. I quickly looked around the darkness of the room, and when I didn't see them, I started screaming their names. At first I didn't hear because of the loud boom that startled me and caused me to trip over some of their toys. After the sound was gone and still lying there, I happened to look over at the closet, and as I got up and headed towards it, I could hear my children crying and calling out for me. Reaching for the door, I opened it and saw both my children huddled together underneath the clothes. Getting down on my knees, I grabbed both of them and hugged them tightly, telling them that everything was going to be okay. As I told them to come on, "We've got to go," one of them asked, "What was that noise, Mommy?" "I don't know, honey, but we have to go." And as I picked them both up, the other child asked, "Mom, where's Dad?" Unsure of what to say, I just held both of them in my arms and headed to the stairs as quickly as I could. As I was running, I heard another boom that sounded closer than before, causing the house to shake and for me to fall with the kids. Stumbling to my feet, I yelled at them to start running down the stairs into the front door. And as we made it down the stairs, I saw a bright light coming through the front door windows, which stopped me dead in my tracks for a brief moment. But then thought that maybe it was the police coming to help us. And as we reached the front door and I opened it, I let out a shrill shriek as I gasped at who was standing at the front door. Just then, my kids let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed throughout the entire house, snapping me out of the shock I was in. And as I started to grab the kids, that's when the woman from McDonald's spoke and said, "Hello, and welcome to McDonald's. How can I take your order?" As she hissed and laughed at me in almost an inhumane voice. Shaking still, I grabbed the kids and pulled them close to me. That's when I realized that there were two more figures. One of the other two figures was the guy from McDonald's, and oh my God, the other was my husband. No, it looked like him, but I knew it couldn't be, because he was dead. Thank God the kids hadn't noticed their dad yet, but before I could say anything, I watched as the guy opened a small metallic object, took the very same salt-looking substitute out of it, and with one breath blew it in our direction, causing me to fall to the floor and unable to move or speak. All I could do was hear my children scream as they hurried over to me, trying to get me up, to no avail. Then there came the sound of a familiar voice from outside. The kids glanced over and responded graciously to the sound of their father's voice coming from that imposter. They didn't know that that thing wasn't their father, but due to my inability to speak, all I could do was watch in horror as they ran to him, arms outstretched. And as the children reach him, he bends down and picks them up, one in each arm. As I am able to regain some feeling in my limbs, when the man straightens, holding my children, he looks straight into my eyes and smiles. I am beginning to struggle to my feet when the door slams shut. I managed to somewhat find my footing as I reached the door, but it was too late. I tugged on the door handle repeatedly and checked the locks, but it refused to budge as I watched, defeated. Through the windows of the door, the three figures turned and carried all I had left into the soft light that illuminated my front yard. I watched them disappear into the light, and it was once again pitch black outside, leaving me to sob where I stood. I've lost everything now. I am broken beyond repair because I know I'll never be able to accept or explain how or why I lost my family. And that was the real reason why the McDonald's ice cream machine is always broke. Wow. That was an amazing story. Thank you, CCG, for allowing me to read this. It was great. And I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to say. Everybody, go show CCG some love. Follow her on Twitter. Follow her on YouTube. Go find her over at... I'm drawing a blank. Oh no. The Nevermore Collective. That's what it is. The Nevermore Collective, where she hosts a show with Philia Noctis called Grave Matters. And tonight, actually, is the first ever Gravy Matters, I believe. And it's going to be a Thanksgiving fiasco. I'm looking forward to it, everybody, and I hope to see you all there. You guys have a great day. And as always, I don't have a catchphrase yet, so I'm just going to leave it as always.